Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Miss AnnaMaria, Aisha, Tiozzo,
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Mr. Faisal, and all the attendees. We wish you a warm welcome, and I am so glad that we are able to hear just now. Sorry for the delayed technical difficulties. And now I would like to pass the event to Dr. Alina, who is a director of Halal Institute for Universiti of Malaya, to proceed. Okay, Dr. Alina, please proceed.
Hello. Miss Alina. Che mi hai prendere la valigia, per favore. Scarica batteria dentro.
Okay. So I still cannot hear Dr. but Miss AnnaMaria, I can hear you very well. And so far, we have also another speaker, Brother Faisal. Okay.
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Alhamdulillah, Miss Anna. And Walaikum Salam.
Am I supposed to go in now?
Actually, the established moderator and host is the privilege is Dr. Zalina, because she is head of the Halal Institute. All right. Dr. Zalina, can you hear me?
Dr. Zahir tak berapa dengar.
Yes, can you hear me? I cannot hear you.
I'll join you in a while. You guys start first, boleh kan?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, I can
I'll join you in a
communicate
bit.
with you later.
Alright. That's why I haven't put up yet. I balik messy.
Oh, okay. Alhamdulillah, you are here.
I'll
I'm
join you
so
in a bit.
glad.
I'll join you in a bit. Go ahead.
All right.
Alright, bye.
Okay. Hold on while I try to communicate with Brother Noor. Okay, apologies from our side here due to some problems in terms of connection. So whilst we wait for Dr. Zalina to rectify the problem, can Miss Aisha, shall we begin first with Miss AnnaMaria Aisha Tiozzo's presentation? So welcome and Assalamualaikum, Madam Aisha. I have heard your name in the Halal international vicinity, and this is the first rare opportunity to meet you, and I'm so happy to be able to meet you, Sister AnnaMaria.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's my first time with this program, so I'm trying to share my video because I have a short presentation. And Assalamu alaikum to everybody, first of all.
Wa alaikum salam.
So I'm going to share the video now with you. And let me... One second. So let's do like this. And let's do like this. Just a moment. So here I am. Let me check what to share. Can you see my presentation? No?
Not yet.
Just a moment, coming, inshallah. Why? What's going on? Just a moment. Okay. One second. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet, Miss AnnaMaria, but we can hear you very
What
well.
about now? Can you share the video for me?
Do you have the link?
Wait, I sent you the... Wow. So, just a moment.
Okay, we can see something just now. Yes, it's clear.
Can you see the video now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I can see you still.
Okay,
Very sorry for
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah for everything.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for inviting me in this conference. Because this conference is dedicated to young generation, and because I knew that I was the first one to introduce the topics, I want to start really simple because I hope we have a lot of students in our conference today. And I think there is a lot of confusion when we talk about halal cosmetics. So, first of all, what is a cosmetic? You know that I'm, okay, maybe nobody properly introduced me, but I am AnnaMaria Aisha Tiozzo, and I am president of the Italian Halal Certification Center, WAD Italia, also called Halal Roma. Our particular competence is in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. So we are known in the world maybe to be the Halal certification for cosmetics mainly. Even if we obviously certify also food, feed, and pharmaceuticals and beverage, logistics, but mainly we are known for cosmetics. So what is cosmetic? As we are Italian, an Italian certification center, we will use the European definition for cosmetics. So a cosmetic, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
So a cosmetic is a product that is any substance or mixture intended to be placed in contact with the various external parts of the human body, epidermis, hair system, nails, lips, external genital organs, or with the teeth or the mucous membranes of the oral cavity, with a view exclusively or mainly to cleaning them, perfuming them, changing their appearance, and or correcting body odors, and or protecting them or keeping them in good condition. Why do I read for you the definition of cosmetic that obviously, probably you already know? What we can see from this is cosmetic is something external. Sometimes we used to think only women use cosmetic. And I will answer, cosmetic is not makeup, is not cream for the body, okay? Cosmetic is also toiletries, is also personal care. Imagine that a man used quite 20 cosmetics every day. You can say how. He used toothpaste, he used deodorant, he used cream for shaving, quite 20, and the woman quite 40. So all these substances are cosmetics. But what is an halal cosmetic? Same definition. Halal cosmetic is not something different, strange, is a mixture of or substance intended to be placed, same things. Last, it is a cosmetic that is suitable for us, for people that profess the Islamic faith, for Muslims. That means it's a cosmetics that have no haram and no najis ingredients, that is allowed to use for us. The use that we make is allowed, and the cosmetic that is clean, pure, environment friendly, that do not harm animal, that is ethical. But we have another difference, that is what is an halal certified cosmetic. And there is a lot of difference, and this is the topic of my presentation. We know what is halal and what is haram if we are Muslim. But the difference between an halal cosmetic and halal certified cosmetic is the word certified. What is the certification? It is a third-party certification body that is accredited from another body that is an accreditation body. And what is the rule of this certification center is to check that the company applied an halal assurance system, applied a system for the production of the cosmetics and for the product itself that is compliant to a standard. So there is no certification where there is not a standard, a norms, okay, that can be private, voluntary, obviously, that can be governative, and where there is not a third part that check the compliance of everything the company did to apply these rules. So we have a certification when we have a certification body and when we have a normative called standard. The difference between an halal cosmetic and halal certified cosmetic is in this point. There is a certification body that check if the company applied a system to produce a cosmetic that is halal. This means that an halal certified cosmetic is product or substance or mixture intended to be placed in the definition that we have seen, plus there is a halal cosmetic standard. Nowadays, the most applied halal cosmetic standard is the OIC SMIC 4 2018. What is the OIC? I think you know. It is the Organization of the Islamic Conference, so 57 countries that is under the OIC. What is SMIC is the normative body of OIC. So SMIC in the 2018 made the standard for halal cosmetic. That means we can have one only standard for 57 countries, and this is also the standard that, for example, in Italy we apply to the certification of cosmetic. So there is a standard that can be also the MS standard for cosmetics, obviously, and there is a Islamic certification body. This is another difference. There are countries that allow the halal certification from certification body that are not Islamic. So under the halal standard, the certification body must be Islamic owned, and all the auditors must be Muslim, and there must be obviously a Sharia board, so a technical part, a religious part, and the lab test. Obviously must be a certification body. That means that only an Islamic center cannot certify, because they must be also certification body. They must have a system, they must have person, they must have, obviously, they must be compliant to standard for certification body. The difference from halal cosmetic and halal certified cosmetic is that the ingredients is halal, but is halal certified. So when we do the certificate, must check for the halal status, we must see if the ingredients itself has an halal certification, or if we have lab test, or if we have other proof that this ingredient is halal. We have seen in the definition of halal cosmetics, no haram and no najis. In this case, we must have no haram, no najis, and no mashbu. That means during the process of certification, everything that is not clearly halal is mashbu, is doubtful. And our role must be to clarify if this substance is halal or if it is haram. The halal certified product is produced in an approved and certified production site. This is one of the most important problems of the halal certification, because you know that in cosmetic we have thousands of companies that have their brands, but we have very few producers. So, for example, in Italy, for makeup, we have two main producers, but we have thousands and thousands of brands. If the production site is not certified, we cannot certify the product. So the main question when we approach a company that must have a certification is, where do this product is produced, and is the production site halal certified? Do they are applying a system that we call HAS, Halal Assurance System, to assure the traceability and the chain in the case of the halal production. We know that the certification center cannot do the repetition from halal to haram in the same line or in the same establishment. So once you produce halal, you cannot produce haram. When you have haram in the production site, you cannot do the halal. And obviously, there is a difference also between producing halal and producing halal certified. So you can have halal and halal certified, but you must be very sure about the cleaning procedure. Sometimes the ritual cleaning, because in case of najis passing in the line, you must do your ritual cleanings that can be 1, 3, or 7 times. And obviously, you can verify this through lab test. When we talk instead about allowed use, this is not part usually of the halal certification, because when we are talking about the use of a cosmetic, we must come back to the intention. The intention is personal, so nobody can certify the intention that people can have in the use of something. I give you an example. A very, very big trend in these years is the halal nail polish. Okay, as a certification center, we don't certify halal nail polish. What I mean, we certify nail polish if all the ingredients and every other circumstances under the standard is compliant. But we cannot say as a certification center that the nail polish is halal because it is suitable, for example, for voodoo. Because we cannot discuss the intention of the use of this product. Okay? So nail polish is not forbidden, depends when you use it. For us, for example, you should not pray with a nail polish. So if it is breathable or not breathable, you are praying, you remove your nails. But intention are not syndicable by the certification center. Obviously, the halal certified cosmetic must be not only halal, but also taib, clean, pure, environment friendly, no harm to animal, ethical. And this is the same definition that we have also in the other sense, halal cosmetics. But when we have an halal certification of cosmetic, we also must take care of something else. The packaging, the detergents, the lubricants that can have contamination, in which there can be substances that can have contamination with our product. And there is something more. In the standard, we will find that also the form of the packaging, the advertising, the imaging in text, in imaging pictures must be compliant with the Islamic value. So when we certify the products, we certify all the chain of production, from the production side to the product, from the labeling, packaging, detergent and lubricants that can have contamination. But we also, there is something after the production, that is the presentation in the market, how this product is introduced in the market, how it is sold, how it is advertised, and if this advertisement is suitable for our values. Let's go very quickly to the haram ingredients, because I'm sure in this conference we are all Muslims and we know the difference between halal and haram. I will not start from the beginning. What is haram? What in the other sense is then halal, or what is mashbu? Because I'm sure we all know this. But when we go on cosmetics, for haram ingredients, we intend obviously ingredients that are derivated from pork, and obviously from pork derivatives. ingredients that come from non-halal animal by their nature or because they are not Islamically slaughtered, ingredients coming from other human or animal part. To give you an example, some years ago there was the trend of derivatives from blood, placenta, especially for hair products or face product. But also if you think about L-cysteine that is coming from hair or from animal hair. Okay. Ingredients coming from insect, imagine some colorants, but this depends on the standards because some standards allow, for example, the red color arriving from insect. Ingredients that are forbidden by national legislation. If you read the standard, prerequisite of this standard are some other standards that are about safety, traceability, but at the end of the standard, we will find a very important sentence that is, product is not halal if is not following the legislation of the country where it is produced. Okay. In our case, we are very lucky or unlucky, I don't know, because European regulation for cosmetics are the most strict in the world. The new regulation that we have in Europe really canceled a lot of ingredients because they was considered harmful. And obviously, this is another point. And haram ingredient is an ingredient that is dangerous or not safe. Because if it is dangerous, not safe, it cannot be halal. Ingredient that is contaminated with najis. I don't go on the definition of najis or najas because I'm sure that we all know what is the meaning. And last but not least, what is the ingredients that come from alcohol, and we know that for alcohol we intend khamra, that is the product of the fermentation of grain, dates, and obviously other fermentation that is intended to be produced to be drinkable substances. So usually in halal cosmetics we don't use the fermentative alcohol, but usually we don't use in cosmetic. We use alcohol that derive from petrochemical, even if in the last years it is a very sensitive topic because the consumer sometimes prefer the fermentative alcohol because it's considered. We can discuss if it is true or not. Okay, it is considered much more natural, safe, but actually this is not allowed for us. Obviously, when I say alcohol, is alcohol added in the ingredient or sometimes alcohol that we use for extraction of the ingredients, which we have to see, obviously, what is the derivation. But we don't have only what is haram. We have what is mashbu. That means what is doubtful. What is doubtful, we know. But what is doubtful during a certification process, for us as a certification center, everything is doubtful till the moment that we have an answer, if it is halal or if it is haram. And how can we get this answer? Through a proper halal certification. If we have an ingredient that is halal certified, okay. If we have other proof that the ingredient is halal, that can be a lab test, obviously from accredited laboratory center, preferably with an experience in halal and, if possible, Muslim owned. And it is mashbu when can be contaminated, can be harmful, are not approved or validated from a Muslim halal CB, because we know that we have a lot of halal certification that are non-Islamic, and we can have some doubt on the certification sometimes, or products that don't have a proper lab test, or product for which we don't have even any specification of the production process or any declaration from the producer, and obviously for products that have advertising and communication. Sorry for the mistake in writing, okay, in writing in English, maybe more than one. And obviously, when we check for the product, we have also to see advertising and communication. Last but not least, of this little resume that I wanted to give to our young attendee is how do I recognize an halal certified cosmetic? And halal certified cosmetic must bear the logo of the certification center. It is not enough to say it is halal or to write it is halal. You must have the name of the certification center that have done this control from raw material to the final products and to the advertising and penetration in the market. So in the halal products, we must have the logo. If the logo is big enough to read the name of the certification center, this is enough. Otherwise, there must be the name of the certification center in the way that you can read this. And there must be the number of the halal certificate. You can see an example of our logo and an example of our number of certificate. And what is the meaning of the number of certificates? Obviously, for traceability. The consumer can check if the product is halal or not, going through a Q code or the number of the certificate. And with this last one, I will finish my presentation because I do not want to be too much heavy. I'm sure that the other speaker will go because I know that there are some university professors, so they will go deeply with you probably under the ingredients, and there will be some brands that introduce their process today, introduce their cosmetics. But what I, to finish, wants to share is that our Halal Certification Center, Wad Italia, also called Halal Roma, is partner of many Italian and international universities for training and Halal internal auditor or Halal auditor, especially in the field of Halal cosmetics. We also offer internship in our Halal Certification Center, so students, even from abroad, willing to apply for internship can write to Ufficio WAD at certificazionehalal.com. Shukran jazilan. Thank you very much. And I hope to hear from you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Miss Anna, and thank you for a very informative start in terms of the elaboration of halal cosmetics. And now I open the session for question and answers from our audience. Okay, please feel at ease and happy to ask our speaker, Miss Aisha. Any questions from the floor? You can raise up your hands.
Come on, I know that you have questions. Very easy question, please.
Okay, while we wait for our, because I assume that there are many young as well as more established representatives from the cosmetic industry, compared to me. I'm curious to know, how do you manage the other regulatory needs besides halal, because of the complexity, let's say for safety, maybe from Ministry of Health or pharmaceuticals or nutraceuticals or whatsoever, because this is concerning Europe. and perhaps there must be a kind of seamless connection or system, okay, that you have managed before. Okay, maybe you can elaborate.
Yes, fortunately, in our certification center, we have 6 technicians that are specific for cosmetics. And so they are obviously, as the standard required, they are graduated in the field. So they are biologists, but then they have specialization in cosmetics. So we don't only provide Halal certification, but in case they are able to go obviously through the European regulation as well as FDA or other regulation. And as you know, probably for Europe, you must register all cosmetics in the portal for European cosmetics, and there must be a responsible person. So all our technicians are trained, obviously, to all these regulation. And as I said before, we cannot give Halal certification of the cosmetics if the cosmetics is not compliant with the European regulation. So for this reason, we must be trained in Halal regulation and all the other regulation of the countries where our client should export. But for sure, the most strict regulation that we have in this moment is the European. So once the products comply with the European legislation, we are quite sure that there will not be any problem. Inshallah. I hope I answered your question, Dr. Alina. Dr. Alina, can you hear me? You have the speaker off.
Okay, sorry, I was I was speaking alone just now. Thanks, Anna, for reminding me. Okay, thank you for the enlightenment, and we would love to see more of your halal certified products in our markets here in Malaysia. So concerning about is it in English? Because if it is in other language, we may be having trouble trying to understand
Actually,
the details.
Cosmetic producer, they always print in English and French because obviously we are in Europe and we need to have at least English and French translation. And when they ask for Halal certification, sometimes many of them want to put also the Arabic translation because they want to sell to Islamic markets. And you know that there are some markets like Saudi Arabia or now also Dubai, in which you are obliged to have the translation in Arabic. I don't know if you know the story of how this started, why it is mandatory in Dubai to have the Arabic translation. And there is a good story of a consumer that did a mistake. She wanted to put some oil in the hair, some balm, okay, to beautify her hair. But for mistake, because she didn't spoke English, she was buying a waxing cream. So she put the waxing cream on the hair, and in the morning she wake up completely without hair, and was the day of the hair marriage. It was a disaster. She came from a very big family of Dubai, and from this moment there was a big issue about the labeling in Arabic of the product. It was very interesting case in cosmetic. Any question for our young attendee? Too much shame?
I hope our young attendees are not shy, because this is a very great opportunity. And my our culture nowadays is that the young ones also like to shop online. And in Malaysia, the popular platform is by using Shopee or Lazada. So if you are able to promote your halal products online, I think it will be a hit also, because here in Malaysia, Italy is more well known for fashion, dress, bags, and all the high fashion goods.
Absolutely, you will see very soon our product in your website, especially because our center was also chosen by the new platform Aladdin, that as you know,
yes, Aladdin.
is restarting. And we are the certification center that, for example, will take care of products coming from Malaysia or Indonesia wishing to enter Italian markets, as well as our halal certified products will be in the platform for the Malaysian consumer, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, any more questions?
By the way, you have my email or our center email. Any question, please send me and you will have an answer.
Thank you for such a kind invitation among us. Inshallah, we will keep in touch, and especially also with Dr. Zalina. She also had done many research concerning about halal cosmetics before this. We hope that we scientists, as well as the young ones attending, they may come from very multidisciplinary, okay, maybe sales or science and so on. So we hope to keep in touch with you. We hope that this is going to be just a beginning, and inshallah this is towards a more halal assured and high brand quality of products, which is reachable and made easy for us to have access. Thank you again, Miss Anna, and now and may Allah bless you. Okay. So now I would like to introduce our second speaker, which is Mr. Faisal. And uniquely about his company, he is from Tanamera Tropical Spa, Malaysian-based company.
I need to figure out.
Also,
Doctor,
FA Sedendirian Berhad. So Tanamera, in Malay words, it means red soil. Correct, Mr. Faisal?
Yes, but I'm not sure how to. Okay, find it. All right. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Yes. So
Hello,
I think as an audience, for the first impression, I will say, wow, it is like red earth, or very natural or raw, and it relates to something very traditional concerning about cosmetics. Okay. So you are actually also focusing on herbs and spa. And perhaps without further ado, okay, we would like to see or listen from Mr. Faisal's experience, because you had such a vast experience with various agencies in Malaysia, like Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, MITI, Medtrade, as well as founder member of Malaysian Herbal Corporation, and also under my Ministry of Agriculture, and had done numerous blueprints associated with herbal products and natural skincare, and as well as advisors to many universities and local government bodies, such as our Forest Research Institute of Malaysia. So here again, I now call upon Mr. Faisal to share with us his products, his experience, and his halal views. Okay, Mr. Faisal. Okay.
Let me try to do this. How much time do I have, by the way?
I can allow you to have a flexible time. Okay, so if we can elaborate and so on, and I hope that from the audience we can get active two-way communication. I hope our audience will be curious to know, because cosmetics has been around here for quite a long time, but halal cosmetic is the trend nowadays, and there are so many things that I don't know. Perhaps the young ones. Okay, so keep in touch with the young ones. Okay, so we really are thrilled and excited to know about your products. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, it is very clear,
Okay, all right.
and your voice is also very clear. Shukr, Alhamdulillah.
Okay, can you see the whole screen now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So maybe I can start then. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just do a bit of housekeeping. All right. Okay. Assalamualaikum to everybody. Miss Anna, doctors. Thank you very much for inviting me. This is from my house, so I have to rush back from office just now. The title of my talk will be more focused. I think Miss Anna have given out amazing information when it comes to what halal is all about and all that, and I think most of us are very familiar with it. So I'm not going to go to in any detail on that, but basically I'm going to focus more on the experience that we have as a family business, on how we develop this brand. And of course, as you can see from the title, from back kitchen to the world, the Tanamera experience. So as you can see from the picture, basically there's 3 of us, my sisters and I. I'm actually the youngest, even though I'm the biggest. You know, so, and how we started is that we are a family business. That's very obvious. But what we did is that we modernized what my mom had. She's a traditional herbalist, and we use the knowledge that she has. She also came from a family of traditional herbalists. Her father was a herbalist from Yemen. And my mom also learned from my dad's auntie, who's actually the royal midwife of the Perak royal family. And she started doing her jamu very early on, you know, doing a bit of massage, oil, herbal scrubs and all that. So slowly, bit by bit, she tried to convince the children to get involved. And that's how we got involved. I mean, we all have our own dream and aspiration. I wanted to be a chef. To be very honest, I love cooking until now. I love cooking, and you know, my sister also want to have her own dreams and all that. But she managed to pull all of us to come and join the sort of family business. But you know, me and my sisters being younger then, we have a different view on how the product is going to be, and that's how we started modernizing it. You know, injecting a lot more modernization, simplicity, making a lot more, converting something very traditional into a language that the modern market can appreciate. So the keyword that we use are something like spa, you know, natural, organic. We use keywords like vegan, vegetarian. Of course, then halal become popular, and then we started by virtue we are Muslims, so automatically our product is halal. And then when halal certification become a necessity for a lot of brands, then we started focus all our product to be certified halal, whichever is possible. So the whole concept of Tanamera is actually based on the Malay art of wellness, very traditional Malay art of wellness, but we modernize it. If you can see the top picture, there's our best-selling product, our Tanamera brown soap. That is based on the traditional lulo or mange, what we call it, when you know the Malay used to have the concoction of herb as a scrub. We turn it into a bar soap, selling extremely well. You know, anywhere in the world that is selling, still our best-selling products. And the whole idea of Tanamera, because of our modernization, you know, we want to look at you know, the approach into ways that the next generation, the younger generation can understand. So this is very, very important. I think all of us, all of you who are looking into developing products and all that, you have to understand where the market is heading. In a lot of ways, you have to be almost like what do you call it, a futurist. You know, even then we started this concept for Tanamera many years ago. We were not serious about doing the brand, the product. So, but we know that these three things, you have to be human friendly, you have to be earth friendly, you have to be animal friendly. We know this concept is going to be big, you know, so we know that the world will move towards this. So we started doing our brand basically on these three focus. You know, so of course we get all through the certification, the halal. We are a multinational award winning brand. We won award in Japan, in Germany. We are certified vegetarian in the UK. We are certified vegan soon, inshallah. Also in the UK, we are Malaysian brand award recipient. We are Global Islamic award recipient also from UAE. So, and the Good Design Award is a very prominent award from Japan, which is very rare. I think we are one of the only two Southeast Asian brand that have ever won that award. You know, so I think I don't have to go through this. I think Doctor have already mentioned that, you know, the name Tanamera means rich soil, or the healthiest of the soil. Okay. So I'm just going to go a bit about what our concept is all about. One, as I said earlier, we are earth friendly. You know, so we focus on the product to create a narrative, a story. So if you're familiar with Tanamera products, people know it because it's, you know, the whole packaging. If we have to use packaging, if we have to, it has to be non-bleach, fully recycled packaging material. Even the plastic that we use have to be more eco-friendly plastic. You can't escape using plastic, you know, because of transportation, fragility, and all that. We love to use glass, but unfortunately, it's just not pragmatic when you are shipping product all over the world. And as much as possible, we would try to use glass. You know, when it comes to smaller bottles and all that, is stronger. And we also work in the concept of simply no individual boxes unless the product is really small. You know, because I mean, we get people ask this question a lot. I say, oh, you know, your product is more premium. Why don't you put it in a box? It looks more premium. And I always ask the same question. I said, what do you do with all those boxes? You throw it away. You know, that's completely unnecessary most of the time. So we remove boxes as much as possible. We simplify our packaging. And also we use the concept of our transport carton to be used as a display box. And as much as possible, we try to reduce our waste concept, our waste. And in fact, if in some Tanamera shops, we already have the less waste, zero waste concept available, where you can actually bring your own bottle and just buy the grammage that you need. And this is very important. All our formulation are biodegradable. From our body wash, you know, we don't use any sulfate, no perfume, nothing that we think that can be that will affect the environment, the water, and all that. So, and of course, the whole principle of halal is that it has to be safe. So we, even many years before, when natural products are not so popular or much more difficult to do, we have embarked on doing, and everything, all the ingredients that we use are plant-based. So from the preservative system to the smell to the essential oil to the what do you call it, the stable, the antioxidant, we try as much as possible to use plant-based source ingredient. None of our products have petroleum-based ingredient. We don't use sulfate. We don't use, you know, glycols as much as possible. We are almost PEG-free, except for maybe one or two ingredients. But I think by this year will be PEG-free. And you know, and we try to introduce some of our formulation to go back to basic. You know, because there's a lot of knowledge in traditions that actually can. You know, you'd be surprised because a few years ago, everybody's talking about, oh, you know, the latest technology, you know, using DNA, latest technology of skin repair and all that. But at the end of the day, I think the world is actually going back to basic, especially during this pandemic. You know, people want to be simple. They want their life to be simplified and all that. So some of the product is just ground powder, but we make it in such a way that it is stable. We make it in such a way that it is, very high quality ingredient from our scrubs and all that. Where we even introduce the concept of like slow cosmetics instead of like fast cosmetic. We have slow cosmetic. You know, like fast food and slow food. You know, so sometimes like for our facial scrub, you actually have to mix it yourself. Instead of just everything in a tube where you have to use a lot of chemical preservative. And it works, and people beginning to like it because a beauty regime is also sometimes for you to recollect yourself. You know, it's almost like a ritual. And as I said earlier, we use all natural preservative in all our formulation. And of course, Tanamera products are completely animal friendly. We are a certified vegetarian brand in the UK, and inshallah we'll be certified vegan also. We have removed product, even things that have egg yolks, egg albumin, that have honey. We remove to be a vegan certified. So inshallah we'll be a vegan certified. We will announce it. I think very, very soon. We are going through the audit right now. And none of our product or ingredient are tested on animal. This is something that is really, really personal to us as a family. We are completely against animal cruelty. Okay? This is just to show some example of Tanamera product. We have quite a big range. We have 130 over, I think maybe now 140 SKUs when it comes to individual product. We also have professional where, we come to big packs, we supply to the spas and all that. And of course, at the low left is actually our hotel range. We're supplying to more and more hotels now, but more on the eco and more premium kind of hotels. Okay. And this is the Tanamera shops, the concept. Not concept, actually. These are actual Tanamera shops at Starling Mall, at Sunway. We have in Central Market. That was in the airport, but we closed it just before the pandemic. It was supposed to be a short period, but it was just way, way too expensive for us to open it in the airport. This is where we are. Some countries we have exclusive distributorship. Some countries we have smaller retailers. So yeah. And okay. Let's talk a bit about halal. As I say, I'm not going to go into the rules. I'm not going to go. I think Ms. Anna have done a fantastic job on that. I just want to know from the business perspective. When we talk about halal, originally people are very limited about the understanding of what is a halal product. Not what is halal, but what is halal product. Is it only for food? Is it only for meat? Even for me, for the longest time, I didn't know that the importance of why cheese have to be halal. But I don't understand. So I thought everything from milk is halal. But then I realized that the process of doing cheese, where they actually use rennet, and the rennet itself can come from the porcine stomach, that would make the product haram. So that is because we ourselves are not too familiar with the process and the halal and haram of the process. And then of course the ingredients. Again, like what I was saying. Hey, sorry, this is my boss, Selina. Yeah. And then whether is it enough if it's just the product have no porcine byproducts, because like for me, halal and safety, like what was said previously, halal and toyiban is extremely important, because they are ingredients that can be very detrimental, that very, very dangerous for people who use, like for example, hydroquinone, certain type of coloring, certain type of perfume, certain types of whitening ingredient, you know, they are not for some product, but in every sense is haram because it is dangerous. It's effective, but it is also dangerous. So previously, I think our understanding of say, oh, as long as there's no porcine or pig byproduct, it's fine. You know, but now we begin to understand the concept of halal is much, much bigger than that. You have to be safety, you have to be, you know, environmentally friendly, you know, and also the last question that, you know, we have to ask is it only for Muslim? You know, our product we sell in Japan, and we are quite popular among Japanese, especially Japanese tourists, Japanese expats in Malaysia, because we won the award. But a lot of the Japanese who purchase our product are happy that the product is halal. If you want to ship to Japan, even though the population of Muslim there is so negligible, but they will, I can assure you, they will ask you if your product is halal or not. Mainly because their understanding of the word halal is not because it's for the Muslim. Their understanding of the word halal means it is clean and safe. You know, so even the concept of halal now is evolving. You know, and you know, you have to look at that halal is you know, eco-friendly. Halal is safe. Halal is fair trade, you know, like for you know, like for example, if you use slave labor to do your product, does that make your product halal? Of course not. No matter all your ingredient is halal, if your toiban, I mean, if your process of doing it is at the back of people suffering, of course your product is haram. Or, you know, ethical business, if you pay bribes to get some contract, even though your product is halal, but you pay bribes, of course your product is haram. Your transaction is haram. So, you know, so it is much bigger than just no pigs, no porcine ingredient. You know, it's so much bigger than that. Okay, okay, let's look a bit at the halal cosmetic market. Yeah, all right. You know, everybody's talking about, you know, how big the halal market is going to be. You know, these are some of the data that I managed to pull out. You know, 15%, and I think during the pandemic, I think it might actually have increased. You know, the CAGR for hair care and personal care is growing at 14%. E-commerce, I think this figure is pre-pandemic. E-commerce, I think, have grown so much higher now, and you know, and now also I think there is this movement for Muslim consumers. I remember when we started trying to go for exhibition in the Middle East, in Dubai, in Jeddah, and all that, and the Middle Eastern was saying, why is your product halal? It's external. Why is the skin? Why is it important to have halal? So we actually have to explain to them. So, but now the Muslim population is becoming to be more and more concerned about the halal issue of the product they use. So there is actually this sort of reversal on the need for more halal product, even though everybody is more modern and all that. That is also from our own experience. Yeah. So, you know, this is what I said earlier when we come to what makes a halal product. You know, it is bigger than just no porcine ingredient. It have to do with safety, protection of the environment, the fair trade, animal protection, and you know, and it is for the world. You know, everybody would want to have a piece of halal product. As you can see, you know, more and more like European are also looking for halal product. Of course, there are certain pockets of people who say, "Oh, halal is, you know, is against, you know, halal support terrorism." Of course, there are people who will say things like that. But I think generally most people now beginning to understand what halal is all about. And I think as Muslims, we have to tell them, we have to explain to them what it is all about. It is not only a product for the Muslim population, the Muslim market. I remember I was one of the speakers to Brunei many years ago, and you know, their tagline was quite good. It's like Brunei halal, halal for the world, you know, and that was quite an appropriate tagline. Okay. Okay, this is something that I pick up in one of my research on the halal market, and so basically one of the things that which I notice when people talk about Muslim populations or the potential of the markets and all that, I think one of the biggest mistakes we tend to do is always looking at the numbers. You know, oh, the Indonesian have 13% of the world Muslim population. India have 11% of the world's Muslim population, and these numbers are growing. But unfortunately, especially Malaysian or even European halal brands and all that, or Japanese halal brand, the product, by virtue of who we are and also our cost of manufacturing, cost of living, our cost of manufacturing is much higher, and we will have to relook at how we approach the halal market. I personally think that we should approach the halal market towards more on the premium halal market. I just give you a very good example. This is okay. You look at the growth of Europe and North America. I like to use North America, USA. In 2010, 1% of the population, and they say in 2050 it will be 2.4%. Actually, this number is very old. This was done, research center was done, I think, in early 20, this is about nearly 12, 15 years ago research. And American Muslim are growing. Now it's nearly 2 million. So not 2050, now it's only 2021. There's nearly 2 million Muslim population in the US itself. I got this from a friend of mine, from another Muslim research group in the US, Miss Elizabeth. And if you look at the figures that the Muslim, after what happened was like after 9/11, the Muslim community become closer because, you know, the Muslim was considered as a threat after 9/11, you know, so they started mobilizing. CARE is actually an association of legal. They all started organizing a lot and more, gathering among themselves, you know, because it's strength in numbers. And this was the research that was done by Dinar Standard. And this was done for disposable income in 2013. If you look at the red figure there, for the American Muslim market, in 2013, the American Muslim market have a disposable income of 98 billion US dollars. 98 billion US dollars of disposable income. And the American Muslim community are middle and upper. They have money. And why are we not targeting 98 billion of somebody? There's only about 1.7 5.7 million population, you know, with 98 billion, instead of we are looking at, you know, God knows how many million, you know, 200 million of a population that don't have that much of disposable income. I think we also have to start rethinking about how we approach the halal market. As a business person, we want to go where the money is. So this is where we have to relook, not look at absolute numbers of population, look at the disposable income of that particular population. So I'm just using this as an example. Even in the UK, I met a professor in the UK. We became friends, and we sort of lost touch after quite a while now. And he was saying that in the UK, even though on average a Muslim younger people or who started working might earn slightly less than a white, typical white British person, but the two costs of living in the UK, especially in London, are rental, which is extremely expensive, and food. You know, so and young people, as soon as they come to age, they start working, they move out. But in the Muslim community, they will stay with their family, and so there's no issue on rental. And then the parents or the mom will usually would cook, so there's no issue on food. So these are the two most biggest spending in the young adult UK, person have to spend on. And now that mean even though they might earn slightly less than their white counterpart, their Anglo counterpart, but they have a lot more disposable income. So you see where I'm heading here. So we have to relook at how we look at the halal market. Okay. I want to talk a bit about the perceptions that we have. When we started Tanamera many years ago, it was tough because one thing about us is that we're very proud that we are a Malaysian brand. And we want to tell the world that we are a Malaysian brand, where people started talking about, how to say it, their product is formulated in the US or formulated by the Japanese or, technology of the Swiss. We completely went the other way around. We said, no, we are proudly Malaysian, formulated by Malaysian, tested by Malaysian, manufactured Malaysian, designed by Malaysian, And it was tough because we have this perception that somehow or other local products are not good enough. I remember we went to a pharmacy chain. At that time, they were quite big, but now they're gone, where they saw our product. When we did the presentation, they absolutely loved it. They loved the concept and all that. And then first question they asked, oh, this product looks amazing. Where is it from? Is it from Australia? I said, no, this is a Malaysian product. And the first question that came out after I said that, they said, oh, why is your product so expensive if it's a Malaysian product? So the perception, even until now, we have people who are, when I give my talks, people are surprised, oh, I have no idea that Tanamera is a Malaysian product. Because the perception that Malaysian product or local product have to be low quality, bad packaging, and then based on traditional knowledge with no scientific data, it's not safe, like somehow or other we are not good enough. So these are the perceptions. So I just want to address this a bit. There are a lot of truth to this perception. I'm not saying that it's not true, but I think slowly things have changed. And I think one of the good things that came out of this pandemic, I realized is that there's a lot more support for local brand. Saying that, there are still a lot of room for improvement. And even for us, there's still a lot of room for improvement. Of course, we have to improve on the quality of manufacturing. GMP, CGMP, ISO, HACCP, this is something that you cannot escape. You have to have all this. If you want to go international, you have to have all this international standardization or international standard, because it also helps you with the manufacturing process, and the documentation is extremely important. To go you is so difficult because the amount of documentation that they ask to do the safety files and safety data files and all that is a pain. It took my colleague 1 year to get the documentation done. So we managed to do it in the end, alhamdulillah. And of course, bad packaging, and there's a lot of truth here. I've seen a lot of, I work with new brands sometimes, because I do OEM contract manufacturing and I work with new brands. And sometimes they come to me and their products selling crazy. They're selling like 10,000 units a month, Even we have problems selling that much, a month or 1 unit of products. But I look at the packaging and say, oh my God, your packaging is horrible. So what I do is that I encourage them, I say, to improve on their packaging, Their marketing is very strong. So improve on their packaging, make them look more professional and all that, And you must always break the mold. You must always recreate yourself. Come up with something new. We get this all the time. People say, oh, you don't look like a natural product. I say, how does a natural product look like? They say, oh, usually natural product is like monocolor. You've seen the trend, right? You like natural product, all one color, black or white or gray. It's so monotonous, it's so boring. But we are, Tanamera represent Malaysia, the Malays, a bit of the Chinese influence, the Indian influence and all that. And we are colorful people. Malaysia is a wonderfully colorful country. It's amazing food, amazing tradition. And that's why our Tanamera products are wonderfully colorful, But of course, we still have the background of the brown paper, the simplicity and all that, And we have to be creative. You have to be daring. You have to recreate yourself, but never, ever lose your identity. That is very important. Like, for example, a friend of mine, not maybe some of you knows him, Dr. Ahmad from USM. He have done some amazing job on misai kucing, and I'm taking it myself. Extract, very high quality extract and all that. But it's the story of the misai kucing, the tradition, how it is used and all that, that you cannot escape that. That is so important, So we must have that story. We must have our culture and all that. Okay. The last point is actually, based only on traditional knowledge with no scientific backup and not safe. There's a lot of truth here, but I think there's a lot of change also. We need more research. There must be better collaboration between the industry with the research bodies, because sometimes I gave a talk recently to researchers, and I told them, I said, one of the biggest mistakes that researchers tend to do is short sendiri. When they think they do the research and say, oh, when I've done with the research, everybody going to buy. No, you need to talk to the industry. You need to talk to the people, see whether there's even a need in the market or not. So this is where collaboration is important. You don't be short sendiri thinking. And the same thing when you do product. When you do product, you cannot be short sendiri. That's one of the biggest downfall of any entrepreneur, any researchers, or anybody who wants to go into business. You tend to think whatever you do, people are going to love it. No, it's not. We learn it the hard way. So you always have to engage with your client, your consumers, and all that. And of course, when you do studies, make sure your studies is something that can be used, that is pertinent for what the market wants. Yeah. Right. So some conclusion on this, I think for halal certification, we have to move forward. We, like what I said earlier, you must actually look at the halal to be bigger than just like no pigs. For the Muslim, it's only limited to food. We have to associate it with fair trade, ethical business, eco, animal friendly, and all that. Because that is all part of halal. You cannot separate this halal and toyiban. And then you have also, like what I said on toyiban, you have to create standard. They also focus on practices and intentions. This is so important. And also you have to innovate. Don't do exactly what everybody else is doing. So even if you want to do the same thing, create something that is different, a different story, a different angle. I mean, if you are familiar with Tanamera postnatal, which is one of our best-selling product, our postnatal set, we focus on the spa experience, the relaxing experience, instead of the very typical traditional experience. And it became popular because of that. And we also, being Asians or any culture of the world, we have so much story to tell. Our culture, our history, our traditions and all that. Use this. People love this. People connect to it. And then you have to focus. Don't try to do too many things at the same time. This is very, very typical mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs tend to do. And of course, in the end, you have to respect the old and you must admire the new. History, tradition plays such an important part in any products that you want to do in the future, even your research and all that. Okay. And the three most important factors for any halal product is this one without question. You have to have integrity, and integrity. Do not say things that are not true. Do not make claim that it's not true. Do not do sales, that break these three rules of halal or any product in the market. Okay. Thank you very much. That's my email. For anybody who want to contact me and all that, you can always contact me. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Assalamualaikum. Stop this. Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam, Mr. Faisal. Thank you. That's a very rejuvenating information and presentation, which keeps us excited. Although it is almost late afternoon here, okay, approaching evening. I therefore open the session for questions and answers and sharing session.
Nobody have any question? Very shy group. Tak ada kot. Okay.
Okay. While waiting for them to ask, okay, I have one question with you. Now we have seen too many varieties of cosmetics in the market. There is the Western version, the Oriental, especially popular like the Koreans or Japanese brands or Chinese brands, and then there's also the Indonesian and so many worldwide brands. So, what do you think with regards of uniqueness of your halal products against these brands? Because some of these brands are also established, and how will it actually suit the younger generations nowadays? Because we see that there are so many changes. For instance, like we have lockdowns now in some parts of the world. So suddenly everybody is wearing masks, and then the popularity of wearing lipsticks go down. So how is it that, as you mentioned just now, about the experience of the consumers, maybe by wearing the halal cosmetics, it can reduce stress, can provide healing, hope, well-being, and also a new dimension or experience. Maybe you can share your views.
I think there's always a market for something new. I think especially the younger generation now are more interested. They are not interested in mass marketing anymore. You know, they are more interested in stories. Like the big brands and all that. If you notice the trend now, even the big brands now are buying smaller brand and market the small brand, because they know people want that to feel special. People do not want to be like, oh, I'm just like everybody else in the market. You know, I think the stories is extremely important, and you're right, Dr. Alina. When it comes to what's happening right now, there are certain changes in the market, in the perception, and for us, one of the things that we notice is that people are more excited when it comes to natural product. People are more excited when it comes to local brand, not like before. And also the product, like even for us, we came up with something that is for sleep, you know, because I know people are stressed. So we just launched a sleep oil that can help. I know some of my colleagues that came up with a facial cleanser that manage, you know, when you wear a lot of masks, you naik jerawat kat sini, you might have acne. They have some product that focus on that. You know, so people need to evolve. People have to look at what is the situation, how the market is reacting to things and all that. You know, you must always keep on one step ahead, or at least at the same level. So you must evolve with time.
Perhaps, Mr. Faisal, you can consider doing face mask or eye mask that will combat eye fatigue, especially nowadays you are stuck with online from morning, noon, evenings. Yes, and then also at times on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, we have the students and our bosses with all these online meetings, as well as the heavy reliance on on our handphones, all these gadgets and so on. So and then we also, as I noted, concerning about your mention just now, and also Miss AnnaMaria, Aisha, that I'm so grateful you are both very open for collaboration or research or case studies, and I will actually encourage that as action point. Yeah, although I think for today's session, we started off with a few hiccups because of the technical audios, and I'm made to know that our main organizer also faced the challenge that a few of us are total lockdown because of the COVID and having some online reception. But I'm so glad that Mr. Faisal, Ms. AnnaMaria, as well as Dr. Alina, we brave the situation. So I hope that it does not end here, and this is just another beginning of a platform of openness. Okay. Not only among you as a presenters, Dr. Zalina, because of the technical, she will also put her presentation recording, and later Brother Noor, as the CEO of this established event, will post everything online, and inshallah the details for emails, collaboration, and so on. We hope that if we don't start something halal, maybe in the form of research, business, collaboration, and so on, no other people will do this for us as Muslims. And okay, any more questions from the floor? Raise up your hands. If I think there are also a few questions for Miss Anna. Are you still around, Anna? Okay, I think if there are no questions, I think with this, on behalf of the organizer, I will thank the organizers for this opportunity to put all of us together we are all from all the different parts of the world, okay, towards one main common interest, the passion for halal cosmetics. And if there are any mistakes, please forgive us. We have done our best, okay, and inshallah we'll try to improve better in the future. And I therefore end this majlis of barakah, because we are trying to champion the halal cause, okay, as Mr. Faisal say, the bottom line, integrity. We cannot lose that. So we end this session with tasbih kifara and surah al-asri. And wa sallallahu wasallam ala sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and we will continue for the next session tomorrow, and look forward. This is actually a back-to-back very exciting halal international conference, which will adjourn tomorrow and ends on Sunday. Okay, keep in touch. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.